Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel, What the Beck. Today's video is a 2018 bullet journal flip through, and I actually used 3 books this year, but one of them I left at my apartment and I'm home for the holidays. So I'm going to show you the link to this video up here, like in the card, and you can see the flip through of this one and the purple book that I used for a month, and then this video is going to be just this book right here. So this is the Dingbats A5 Plus notebook, and I think it's from the Wildlife collection. They have like really sustainably sourced and vegan friendly products, and this was like really good quality for like $20, which is really good. It's like a decent price for a nice journal, and it did last me, and I still have pages left for next year. In this book, like I have quite a bit left that I'll be able to use, but I used this much for this year, and then I do this weird thing where I put my like fun pages or trackers at the back like that way they don't like get all like tangled in between my weeklies and stuff. But yeah, so let's go through it. So this pen loop is actually from the Happy Planner, and it has like sticky on the back of this so you can have another pen loop, because I have this little pen in here, but my favorite pen is like thicker than that, and it's got rubber on the outside, so it's hard to get it in the elastic loop, so I just put this one on so it can fit. And yeah, so if you haven't seen any of my videos before, I started this journal in July, and this was basically the beginning of my YouTube basically. So I started with the donut theme, and I filmed this whole month in my YouTube video, and I can link to that one up here as well. And I remember when I did this, I was on vacation for the first couple weeks, and I actually put strawberries on here twice. But yeah, so we did a bunch of fruit and lettering. And I actually like how I did this with the lettering under the doodle, but I did kind of phase out the doodle challenge later on. And I don't know if I'm bringing it back because I'm pretty busy, but yeah. So I tried the line a day in July and tracking my sleep and mental health. And this is where I figured out that I can't, there's the cat. This is where I figured out that I can't rate it with a number like this, because I don't really know what's going on. Like I know that 4 is higher than 2, but later on I turned it into a graph so I could really see what was going on with my mental health, and that helped a lot. And then this is one of my weeklies. When I do my monthly videos, I always try to put at least one weekly spread in them, because I like it to be with the theme, but then the other weeklies are more creative, like this, where it's just rainbow multicolored. And yeah, but I always like to do at least one on the theme, and then the other ones are just kind of whatever I have or whatever I want to use. And then this is actually kind of different because, well, my sister got a brush pen, and so I had to practice using that, and she was like, wow, you're so good. And I'm like, you should see the people on Instagram. But I started making a packing list because I was going to a convention, and Kitty's on the table now, so you might see her. But we were going to a convention, and I was a vendor for the first time, so I didn't just have to pack like clothes and cosplay things. I had to pack all of the things I was selling and things for my table. And then we went into August, which is actually when we left for the convention. And this was rainbow themed because it was my birthday and I love rainbows. And I kind of stuck to that throughout the whole thing. Here's my sleep and mental health in a graph, which worked a lot better. And I found out that I can, whatever like amount of sleep I get, I'm usually okay, which is weird, and not a lot of people are blessed to be like that. But this is when I found that out, because I was doing such an erratic sleep schedule. And of course, this rainbow habit tracker, it's huge, but it's because of my like mental health and my ADHD, I need to have it all like this, and I did a video about why I track so many things, and I'll link that up here and in the description as well so you can see it. But it basically boils down to like what I need to do to make myself less anxious and like keep myself on track. And then here are my lettering and drawing challenges again, and these were actually pretty good. And here I got lazy and just drew like really simple ones, but I kind of made them more cute as time went on, and then at the end they were kind of on drugs or something. But overall I really like how this general section turned out, and I think I didn't actually finish it. I think I just gave up on that part because it was like the next month and I really wanted to move on from it. And then this was the rainbow weekly spread from August. And then this one is kind of still rainbow because I used some erasable highlighters to highlight the things I finished, which actually looks really cool. And I might revisit that instead of just checking things off, but they're in little clouds and these are super fun to draw. And then things I have to do before move-in day. This was just organizing before I went to school for this first semester after August. And then as you can see, it says to film a plan with me. Well, that did not happen on that day. Anytime I write it in, it happens like the next day, but yeah. Let me get this centered. So, and then we had September, and my footage for this was deleted. Like I had a whole time lapse of me drawing all these cute little cats, the pusheen, and it got deleted and I couldn't recover it. So if you can't tell, this month's theme was cats and gold, I guess. And here's my giant habit tracker. This is like using a bar graph instead of a time graph or a dot line graph. I'm not sure what it's called, but yeah. And then I was gifted a self-care tracker in a giveaway that I won, and I just decided to use it here. And my schedule for that semester, lettering, just another weekly. And then this part I remember because I started doing a homework tracker to see when I worked on homework for each class, and that actually did help me like keep on track. Like, well, if I didn't do any work for this class this week, is that because I didn't have any homework, or is that because I'm procrastinating on a project? But I like what I did with the lettering here, where I used the highlighter to write the word, and then I did like a drop shadow and a highlight on the top. And I remember, yeah, this was a week where I had these whale stickers my mom gave me, and I was like, I have to use those, so I guess I got to do a blue week. And I like how it turned out, but it is kind of shadowing on the back, or bleeding through actually, over my homework tracker, because for October I went all out and I put a ton of art supplies on here. This is watercolor pencil, and this is like markers and stuff. These are really cheap brush markers, and I also won those in the giveaway, but they were kind of dried out after a little while, so I had to throw them away. But if you're interested in seeing how I did this, I'll also link the playlist for my monthly bullet journal videos, and you can go through to the October one. But I loved October because my whole theme was Halloween, and I love this washi tape with all the webs on it. I thought it was really cool, and I like the way that I turned this out, and it looks kind of like spider webs. And then I also did two color tracking, I guess, is like when I mark things off, I use 2 colors. And back in August I used 6 colors, but that was hard to keep up with because I had to make sure I had my pens with me whenever I was doing something on there. And I just couldn't do that at school, so I only had 2, and then I put 1 in here and 1 in here in the pen loops. And then I did bubble letters for my lettering, which actually turned out really nice. I like how Warlock turned out, and I like that I practice with smaller text and bigger text because I really like how the bubble letters look. And then I tried tracking my food down here, still my homework tracker, and I did like a vertical thing, and I found out that I like using the vertically instead of horizontally, and I filled in the extra space after each day with a drawing of something. Like, this is supposed to be blood, I think, or slime, but it's like, it just looks like a melting hand. Whoops, sorry for hitting you. But yeah, and then I was like, okay, well, I should try a horizontal one too, and I just found that that was kind of like wasting space. And so you'll see that I kind of gravitate towards like splitting it in half later on. And here's where I messed up, and I decorated this entirely upside down, but I already put my stickers down, and I was like, okay, I guess that I'm just gonna have to leave it like that. And I believe I was home for the weekend when I made this. So I used all these cute little autumn stickers that my mom had, and I did some cool headers, which I don't normally do them pretty fancy, but this time they were. Then back upside down, the Until Halloween spreads. We had to make sure to vote. My mom actually surprised me when I went back to school this week. She did my laundry for me, and she put a $10 bill in there with a sticker on it. So that was a nice surprise, and I just put it in this corner. It's in the realm of the pug, so yeah. And then my November monthly spread, I decided not to do a quote because I don't really look at them when I do them, and I put a lot of time into that. So I figured I'll make a big monthly spread, like for the name of the month, and I'll just make that more complex, and then I'll be more proud of it, which I was. And this is like the solar system, and it actually does spell out November, and there's a little Pluto up here because I really wanted to put Pluto in it. And this was just a bunch of mixed media pens and markers. This is acrylic paint and a white gel pen, and yeah, I'm really happy with how that turned out. And then I tried to do a space theme, as you see before, and instead of calling my habit tracker a habit tracker, I called it achievements, because the idea is that you celebrate the things you get done and not feel bad about the things you didn't. And sleep and mental health tracking, and I did shooting stars, and I kind of stopped tracking them in the middle. I must have been really busy or something, but I kind of fell off tracking sleep, and that made me feel like I kind of don't need to track sleep that much. I just need to track when I go to bed. And here's my lettering challenge, and I used a tip-in card, keeping track of all my food that I ate. And this is when I made my best and worst spread, and this was actually really helpful to understand my mental health tracker. So like on the day where I had an anxiety attack, then my mental health was obviously very low, but when it's just too cold, that shows me that like there wasn't really much to complain about, or like that was, if the worst part was that it was cold outside, then I was probably doing better than the previous day when I had an anxiety attack. And yeah, I'm just using up my sticker stash with all these like cool holographic stickers, if you can see that. And then more vertical spreads, and then I kind of did this 4 days on one page a lot that I noticed. And then here we have just a sideways one, and I actually got these stickers from what is it called? I think it's called Once More with Love, but I'm not sure. And they are like self-care stickers. So this one says looked after myself, and I basically used it to mark when I had a bad day, because I kind of forget what happened, and that's also why I started doing journaling in the bullet journal, which I might bring back. It shows me that like when I'm more productive and when I'm not. So like a lot of these were like high energy projects, but I only did the low energy ones because I was having a bad day, and that just kind of shows what was going on with me. Here's a rainbow spread. I tried ripping my washi tape for the first time, and I kind of like how it turned out, but I don't know if I could stick with it, but I am more okay with just ripping it and leaving it in there. And then there's December and the habit tracker. This month's theme was warm, and you can see the graph actually we went on quite a ride this month, and I put my warm worm in here, tracking all my social things, like if I do a video call with someone, if I post or edit a video or something like that. And then my habits are pretty much the same as the last month, and I put these little snow stickers on here. My lettering, I did cursive again. There's a worm again. I filled this with washi tape, and I also filled this with washi tape just like to experiment with it. And then my best and worst spread. And here's a little hint, because I'm actually going to be on a podcast on the 31st. It's called The Uncurated Life, and it's by Cindy Gunter-Baldo. And if you've seen any of my videos, you know that I love her, and I was so excited to be there, so I had to make a spread for it. And you can find her channel on the description of this video, and click on her podcast through that. And if it's after the 31st, then you can find my podcast with her about gender in the planner community. Then we did 6 sections, so like putting the weekend together, which I normally don't do because I'm busy on the weekend, but this was during finals week, so I was really only working on projects when I wasn't doing much of like my own things, like organizing stuff to do. But I did this doodling, like purple kind, and I used another of those self-care stickers. I like how this looked, but it took me forever, so I don't know that I would do it again. And finally, we have another rainbow spread, and this is where we are now. And I'm trying to keep the rest of the year on this page so that I can do my January setup. But yeah, so this is what I have so far. I used some new washi tape my mom got me, and this family sticker for the Christmas. But yeah, that was my flip through of the weeklies and monthlies. And then in the back, my sister wrote a note for me, my pen test page ideas, which I actually did a few of them, my thank you to myself page, commission tracking, savings tracker, this one, which I still need to fill out, but I think I'm gonna turn it into like a scrapbooking type page where I put movie tickets and quotes and stuff from my partner, and that would be like a pick-me-up for my mood at times. Packing list, which I only used once so far, but now that I know it's in here, I'll probably use it again. And this is my like crochet ideas page, so like for what I want to make, and I'm actually working on a trans blanket right now. And things to do in summer, and I was going to draw some things on this page, and I might do so this next summer, but I'm not sure yet. Welcome to Night Vale, which I actually kind of dropped off, and I don't know if I'm picking it up again because I have so many things on YouTube that I watch that I don't know that I have enough like free entertainment time for it anymore, but I'll see. And then this was my level 10 life from a while ago, and I should probably go back and update this. And then incoming mail and my watch list for my show that I like, just some post-it notes with drawings on them. And then my slime collection as a way to justify my addiction. And I did have a YouTube video ideas page, but I moved it onto an app that I have because it's easier to keep track of, and I can write it in my phone faster than I can write it on here. So that's where that is. And then this is the rest of the pages that I have, and I'll use those next year. So thanks for watching this video. If you liked it, you can like the video and subscribe to my channel. And if you want to share this video with your friends, then I would really appreciate it. and leave me a comment down below telling me your favorite part of your own bullet journal or something that you liked in mine, because I think that I did a lot of different things, but my favorite was definitely the hearts. When I finished a task, I would draw a heart next to it near the end of the year, and I like how that turned out. Bye!